Hey everyone, this is Brett, and this lesson is going to be the first of a series on how to build your first website. So earlier we've talked about how to build a web page by using HTML, and really the only thing that differentiates a web page from a website is that we have multiple web pages that are linked together which form a website. So for example, I have this website right here called ErnieSportsDeli.com. And when I load that up, I get the home page. Now this page has their logo, it has their slogan, has a menu bar here with some links, pictures of their sandwiches, and then it has a footer down here. And then you can see that if I click on menu, that will take me to a new page. And that's where the link is. Now I can click home, and I go back to home. I can click the Ernie's Truck, and that takes me to the Ernie's Truck page. I can click on catering, and that will take me to the catering page, or I can click on locations, and that will take me to the locations page. So what I want to do is restructure this page or recreate this website and show you how it's done. So to start, I'm going to just copy and paste this sample or this getting started piece for my HTML. I'll paste that over here. And the first thing I want to create is the home page. So my page title is going to be Ernie's Sports Deli, and then I will just do home, and that's what I want to call it. And then it looks like they have a big title here called home, and so I'll just put that in there for now. And when I save this, because this is my main page, I'm going to call it index.html, and that gets later into the server knows how to load index.html by default, but for now that doesn't matter. But I'm going to create a new folder called Ernie's sportsdeli.com, and I have that in my desktop inside my dev nano folder, erniesportsdeli.com, and then I'm going to save that as index.html. So I suggest that you follow along at home, build this out, and get the experience of building it. So if I save that, then I come to Chrome and I open my file, and I'm going to go to erniesportsdeli.com, index.html. You can see I have my home page, and then I have Ernie Sports Deli title up here. So now I want to create a new page for my menus. So I'm going to come to Atom, I'm going to do File, New File, and I'm going to copy my same structure here, just this boilerplate template to get me started. And I'm going to change the title from Home to Menu. I'm going to save that. Oops. And then I'm going to call this my H1 tag instead of Home. I'm just going to call it Menu so I know I'm on the menu page. I'm going to hit Command S to save, and then I'll save that as menu.html. Now I'm going to go to Ernie's Truck, and I'll do the same thing. So I copy and paste this. I use shortcut keys a lot, so Command N will get me a new file, and then Command V to paste in my boilerplate template, and I'll change that from menu to Ernie's Truck. Save that as I'll just save that as truck.html. And then I'm doing a lot of copy and pasting here because recording with the keyboard I have is really loud. It clicks. So I'm trying to make it not so loud for the recording. But like we've talked about before, make sure you're typing all of this in. It's really good to type all of this manually, learn how to do it, review each and everything, and doing this over and over again, you'll review it quite a bit. So, all right, I've got 3 of my 5 pages, so I'm going to do a next one by hitting Command N for a new file, Command V to, I'll copy and paste this, and I will Control Command V that to paste, and then I'm going to save this as catering.html. And I'm going to change my title here to catering. And I will also change my H1 tag to catering. I'll save that. So now I have 4 pages. Now one last page to get me my locations page. So File, New File, Edit, Paste, change that to locations, save it as locations.html, and then I'll change my H1 tag to locations. So now I have my website, which you can see from the Explorer over here. I have index, I have catering, locations, menu, truck. So if I come and load that in the page, you can see I have a home page, and then if I was to change the path up here, I could type in catering.html, and it will give me my catering page. I could also type in the truck.html, and that'll give me my Ernie's truck page. So all the pages are there. Now we just need to link them back together. So I'm going to click back a few times and get back to my index.html. And the thing that we need, and all websites, most websites have, pretty much everyone I've seen, has some type of a navigation menu, so how you navigate the site. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to use an unordered list element. And I'm actually going to do this in index.html to start. So I'm going to create a UL element, an unordered list, and then I like to create the closing tag when I create the opening tag. And then I'm going to create a list element using li, and I'm going to call that home, and I'll save that. So now when I refresh, I get this bullet point list. Now if I go down and copy and paste this a few more times, I'm going to do home, and then the next one I want to do is menu, and then the next one will be Ernie's truck, and then I'll do another li element for catering, and then I'll do a last one for locations. Now the reason I'm using this is when it comes to CSS, it will be easier to change this type of navigation structure around to make it sideways or to change the fonts, or there's a lot of styling here, so that's just the way I've done it in the past. So if I refresh my home page, now you can see I have this: home, menu, Ernie's truck, catering, locations. So that's the beginning of my navigation menu. Now I'm going to call this, these aren't linkable, so that's the next problem. I can't click on these and navigate through the site. So the next tag I need to use is the anchor tag, and this is really what makes the web the web. So in here I'm going to create a new anchor tag, and I'm going to surround my anchor tag with, or I'm going to surround the home text with the anchor tag. And if I save that with Control S and I refresh that, you can see nothing really happens because I don't have an href, which is the hyperlink reference. So I'm going to type href equals quote, and then I have to have the path to the home page, which for us is just index.html. I'm going to save that, refresh that, and you can see now I get a link. Now it's just linking to itself, but that's okay. So we'll come down to menu and we'll do the next one. So we'll do our a tag with our href, and this one is going to go to menu.html, and then I'll surround my menu text with the a tag. So I save that using Control S, right click, and now you can see that is highlighted, or that is a hyperlink, because you can see the blue color and the underline, and my mouse changes. Now I'm going to jump in and just do the rest of these really quick. So to Ernie's truck, I'm going to link that to truck.html. And then to catering, I'll link that to catering. I'm trying to type super quiet so it's not loud in the mic. And then the last one will be the a link to locations.html. And assuming I don't have any bugs or any little typos, I save that hitting Command S, refresh. Oops. And all of those should work. Now, for some reason, I have a little bit of a bug because locations, for some reason, isn't coming up. Oh, and that's because I did a typo there. I did a dash instead of an equals sign. So refresh. Now I have my navigation menu. So let's test it out. So if I click on menu, that takes me to the menu page. Perfect. Now on this page, menu, I don't have anything here, so I can't get back. So I'm just going to use the back button in the top left corner of the browser to click back. You can see Ernie's truck. That takes me to Ernie's truck. Catering takes me to catering. And locations takes me to locations. So I have my first navigation menu. Now, generally, you like to wrap this in like a div tag, or in our case, using HTML5, we can wrap that in a nav tag. And you don't need to do that later. That will come in handy. So I'm going to copy that now, and because I want to have this navigation on every page, I'll just come into the menu page and I'll copy and paste that. And then I'll copy and paste it into truck.html. I'm going to copy and paste that into catering.html. And then I'll go into locations and copy and paste that as well. So now, if I click on menu, it's coming to the menu page and loading up this page with my h1 tag of menu, and then I have this navigation here. I can click on Ernie's truck. That takes me to truck.html, which is here. That loads this page with my title. You can see Ernie's truck is up here. H1 has my H1, and then I have this nav menu that's here as well. If I click on catering, same thing happens, takes me to catering with all the same stuff we talked about before, and then locations. Now I have locations.html. So one last thing is on the href. This is using the same concept as the file paths video or the images, where this is saying that relative to the current file, index.html is where the other file is. So if I come to Ernie Sports Deli in my Finder, you can see that they're all in the same folder relative to each other. They're right next to each other, so there's nothing I need to change here. And that's a pretty common way, or a standard way of doing it. So congratulations, if you've done that exercise, you have your first website. And now the rest of building out this website, all you're doing is coming into each of these pages, and you're adding in the rest of the content. So we have our navigation here. Let's go to the home page. If we wanted to recreate this page, maybe we'll just do this really quick. They have an image here, and I'm just going to inspect the image source. And I'm going to copy, let's see, I'm just going to copy their path. So I'll type in an image tag, let's see, image tag source equals there. I come to my home page. Now I have my breakfast image. They have a little trickery going on here where it rotates the images. And then down here they have this navigation menu. And so we could come down and type in all those elements down here and progressively start building out our page. And then once we have all the content of the page, that's where we would go in and use CSS. That would need to be in a different lesson. But that's where we'd go in and use CSS to style the page, to give it these colors, to give it this layout. But that's how you create the page.